So it's now up to me, ladies and gentlemen, to say hello. As I was introduced, I'm from Pixomondo, CEO and managing producer of the Pixomondo Frankfurt branch. And I would like to tell you something about digital Hollywood today, especially when it comes to new kind of technology and innovations, which we, let's say, pretty used to use, because innovation is something that driven the industry since many, many years, since the first stills learned to walk away and influence each of us. So who is Pixomondo? Pixomondo is an internationally multi-awarded, Oscar-winning company with 7 offices right now, worldwide, 3 continents. We do quite a lot of things, as we are pretty well known for especially our Hollywood feature film business. We won an Oscar in 2012 for Hugo, Martin Scorsese film. I don't know if you have seen this one. We've been awarded 2 times more, but not lucky enough to win it again, or maybe the other were just better. I don't know. I don't think so, because my colleagues are quite good in what they're doing. So, some people know our work, especially for Game of Thrones, that one of the showrunners that Pixomondo is doing since season 2. We won quite a lot of Emmys for that. We have been nominated, but that's just one of the things we're working on. We're not doing TV series and feature film alone. So we're working on a wide range of different kind of businesses, especially corporate communication, large screen projection, theme park entertainment, VR, mixed reality, all kind of interactive stuff. And therefore, we produce quite a lot of data. But before I come to this topic, I want to give you a short overview. What is Pixomondo really doing? So maybe you know 1 or 2 of the things, but maybe you don't. But I would say, just enjoy the show.
My friends, I address you all as you truly are. Wizards, travelers, adventurers, magicians. Come and dream with me.
To be honest, I feel almost always the same when I see something like this. I know it comes out of the company I'm working for and working with a great team every time, but I'm always impressed and always amazed, to be honest. Still a little bit shaky. But this was just a little overview of the things we're actually doing. We do quite a lot more. And, but you know, you have to shorten things, especially if you have an event like this. So maybe you recognized one or two things. I'm not pretty sure. But as you can imagine, to produce something like this means you have to deal with a lot of things that need to be produced, like data. So everything is digital right now. So this brings me to one of the topics. Just I mentioned the film Hugo. We did it in 2010, 2011. As you can see, we had a few more offices back then. But the amount of data which were produced is quite impressive to me. So we had 3 teras of data transfer, which need to be transferred between each Pixomondo office and the client, of course. Almost 1.4 or 1.3 terabytes of data were produced in-house and needed to be shifted all over the locations because we were doing this on a global scale. But the thing is that almost like 60% or 70% of all the data back in the days and everything that we produced were transferred via hard drives. So even we had to ship people overseas to get the data there right on time. Nowadays, things are totally different. This is the actual. So as you can see, it's still a few branches. As I said, 2 in Canada, 2 in China, 2 in Germany, 1 in the States. But as you can see, that amount increased even more. The big difference is nowadays, nothing is shipped anymore on a hard or wire drive. Everything is going via connections. Everything is online, which means for us that we really have to make sure that we can handle this kind of data, and we have the opportunity and straight partners to fulfill the needs, not just the needs of ourselves, even the needs of our clients. So just to give you an overview, what kind of struggle we have to deal with on a daily basis. So what brings me to the next topic. So as I showed you a short overview of the projects, this is just a little part of it, because we're doing quite a lot of interactive technology as well, working with the Hololens, Vive, Rift, Gear, everything that's on the market right now for virtual reality, mixed reality, and augmented reality. We do have an own fab lab with 16 people working on it in Germany, 700 square meters, where we try to produce and create the future, more or less, but especially trying to deal with the ideas that our clients create. So we try to increase their visions, and therefore we're always looking for new technologies. As I said, we are somehow an innovation-driven company as well. So how we do this? We do this by creating different kind of experience. Like this was one of the project was a classical, more or less so-called VR experience with 360. We create everything, doing the user interface, the programming, the UX, everything. We try to keep everything within one house, but this can also be done, or is also be done, not just on virtual reality applications, also on the mixed reality application. But I will show you something about this later on, because this is totally different. I don't know if someone here in-house have some virtual reality experience. I guess a few. So maybe you can raise your hand if you have some experience. Oh, it's less than I thought. 360 movies, something like this. Okay. Have someone ever experienced something like a mixed reality experience, or do you have any idea what that means? Okay. Quite a few. That's pretty cool, because I'm going to show you later on what this really means and how this could impact the whole market I'm working in, and not just the film industries, even furthermore. So why we pushing ourselves and trying to push the boundaries every time is that we want to achieve even a better quality on a daily basis. Therefore, we created on one of our main shows, the Game of Thrones, a virtual reality experience that allows us to get a better idea how a creature, something like a dragon, which is of course not a real creature, but how does it look like within a given environment? Maybe, I don't know, have you ever seen Game of Thrones? I guess it's one of the most popular TV shows in the world, so maybe you could be more enthusiastic about this. Huh? My colleagues works pretty hard on that, to be honest. And I can tell that most of the things are done here in Frankfurt, so that's also pretty cool, in my opinion. So what we did over here, we created a virtual environment where we placed the dragons. This is from season 4, just to make sure to get an idea how this creature would react within a light environment. So therefore, we used the Vive, used this torch and used the actual controller and could walk around, lit everything, and could see this creature. But this was not just a lighting test or something. We also want to get some more scale, to get an idea about how this creature, how big it is. So therefore, virtual reality was great. But this is just one thing. And I don't know if someone have already seen the latest season of Game of Thrones. These things are huge. We're sitting in an airplane right now. But the actual Game of Thrones dragon, the biggest one of all, is almost as big as the 320. So that's quite impressive. But how do you animate something that is so huge that you cannot recognize? You've never seen something like this. Therefore, we created a different kind of experience for our animators to get them an idea. We have situations over there, which I will later show, where Jon Snow, one of the main characters, is getting really, really close to one of the dragons. So he needs to know how this feels. So either one, he's a really good actor, or on the second, he had the opportunity to get an idea of this thing. And therefore, I would like to show something. Can you give me just a little bit of black? Therefore, I switch on this device, which is a Microsoft HoloLens. It's not a Pixomondo created one, sadly, but we're working on it to even create our own hardware. I just switch it on. I will show you something to give you an idea how this will look like. So now, this is a hot test. Ich sehe noch nichts auf dem Kontrollmonitor. Ah ja, danke. Und bitte den aus. Wo ist meine Maus? Da. Kannst du nochmal schwarz geben? So, just a second. So what I'm doing right now, I know it looks stupid, but I can see you all, so it's not like virtual reality. I'm not isolated at all. I see you all, but what I do see even more, maybe we could dim down the light a little bit more, is this beautiful creature. This creature here standing right in front of me that you don't see. Actually, it's pretty funny for me, but because I see something you don't see and it looks amazing. So I can do this the whole day through. So if you're interested, you can join us. Pixomondo is just a few kilometers away. Come over, see it. No, to be honest, just give me a live picture, please. So what you see over here is actually Drogon. It's a holographic image. It's live tracked. It's absolutely stable in a real life size. So this gives me an idea, or even an actor, how big this thing is. I mean, that's how Jon Snow felt when the dragon was coming really close to him. So I know it's a lightweight image, but I can see it, and will see it later on also. And the good thing about it, it's not just about this face, which I can't see anymore, maybe from this perspective, but I give you just a little idea how big this thing actually is. So now it's gone. That's a cool thing. Maybe I start over new. I give you a better idea later on, because I have also not just still images about it, I also have some animated impressions to give you an idea how we use this kind of technology to fulfill our animators' wet dreams, to be honest. Because this gives you an idea. So just look over here, how big and impressive this thing is. So and if you're an animator, you need to know how a creature like this will behave with such a big mass. Yeah, now you can see pretty good because a little bit of contrast. Actually, this device is normally meant to be a daylight device, but we're still figuring out how to bring in such huge amount of data and huge assets into the HoloLens. Working pretty well at the moment, but I don't know. Do we still? Yes, we do still have the live one. Okay, but furthermore to come later on, so we can switch back on to the other one. So this gives you a little idea. I showed nothing. You will be impressed even more later on, hopefully. So let's continue. So what we're doing, what does it mean? We can switch to the other, no, to the actual presentation. Ich muss wieder was rüberziehen. Warum muss ich denn schon wieder was rüberziehen? Echt? Dann sehen alle meine... Just a second, please. Dann sehen aber alle meine Notes. Ja? Bist du sicher? That's great. That's live. Huh? That's something I'm missing and lagging quite often when I do my regular job. It's never live, so I guess you know what I'm talking about. Oh. Die ganze Präsentation rüber, das. Just a random applause. Can you? Okay. Let's do it like this. Ah. Yeah, back on. Okay, let's continue. We're talking about interactive projects and mixed reality. So just a little explanation what does mixed reality actually means. So it's not just to augment things within the real world. Mixed reality can mean so much more. It can be working with sound, with smell, with movement, everything that engages or even, augmented your real life. And this is something we did for the IBM Watson IoT Center Munich last year. So they were launching the worldwide headquarters. We had the challenge to create something which is an interactive desk, as they call it. It's more a meeting room, a normal round-shaped table, diameter 3.5 meters, which they also wanted to use to create something magical. So using objects, using voice recognition, using random objects, more or less, to the clients to tell their story, to tell what they're doing, what does IoT mean, cognitive IoT mean, what does it mean? So we had to learn, first of all, to learn somehow what does that mean. Otherwise, we couldn't represent this somehow. And so we created this table which works with 6 beamers, thousands of sensors, voice recognition, everything. You can place objects over there, things appear, disappear. You can show picture, live video material. It's combined to a beautiful large screen triptych, which is even half as big as this room. It's a magical thing. So we achieved our goal pretty good, to be honest. What we also do, this is also something that comes out of the more so-called virtual reality world, but as soon as things are not staying virtual anymore, not in a closed environment, it's more that you combine things with something in the real life, let's say something physical, this gets more into this mixed reality thinking. So what we're doing, what we did over here, we call it EVE. It's experimental virtual environment, but I give you a little overview how this will work. So this is Eve. This is a Pixomondo own product, more or less. So we created us and developed this by ourselves. We started with this project 3 years ago. And since then, so many things have changed within technology. You can read something about the whole working field of mixed and virtual reality almost every day. And the basic idea was behind that to have a more photorealistic approach. When we started with this, we had the best photorealistic approach, to be honest, even better than our competitors. But it was not just about being photorealistic. It was more about that you can interact. You don't need to have controllers. Everything was controlled by your hands, just with sensors. So you were sensed in a room and could interact with the car. Made a gesture, the car opened. You could sit on a chair, it feels like sitting in this car. You can even hit the buttons and everything like this. Everything is controlled and monitored, and then later on the client will receive all the data necessary for whatever, I don't know. So they sell their stuff. This is one thing that we did. We followed up this approach and created something for Siemens, which is a train configurator. So who needs a train configurator? I don't know if you need a train configurator. But Siemens wanted one. And therefore, we started with this project, almost a year of work, working in really straight collaboration with the Siemens engineers. The idea behind that was that this was originally made for the design department of Siemens. They never had the chance to see their final designs in real-life size. Therefore, we said, okay, let's do it in virtual reality. Bring the things to life, also like a photorealistic approach. And then we worked out that this is even bigger. It's not just a design decision, it's even bigger. And nowadays, they use it for as a marketing and sales tool, but I give you an idea what this thing can do. Everything as on Eve as well, it's real time. So you don't have to wait, don't have to render. You can configure this thing live. You see it, we have different kind of train stations for different kind of global or markets. So you can configure almost everything, not just the exterior. You can also go in the inside and change the interior. That gives you a good idea of how this train will look later on. So they never had an opportunity like this before, and so the whole market for them changed. We're now working on the 7th iteration, different kind of things like this, but I don't want to make it like a marketing thing for Pixomondo. I just wanted to give you an overview, because this was also classical virtual reality, but gives or sells the original IP of the client. So as you can see, everything, it's just a button away, and then it switched totally. Even lighting, and even you can change the environment. You can change where you are on the continent, which continent you are, where you are, doesn't matter. So there's another thing that we did, which is more with this mixed reality approach called, I don't know, the Germans might know the Montagsmaler. It was a famous TV show. It's more like a charade, where you paint things, and the others have to guess what you are painting or drawing. But we did this also in a virtual environment. Oops. Did I skip the video? No. So you are in a virtual world, and the others see actually what you're doing. It's not like with the Hololens, I just present something, say, oh, it's amazing, and the others can see it. So what we did, we presented that one on a HoloCube. Give you another idea. A lot of things to see, a lot of movies, but as just a few of you are already experienced, I really wanted to make sure that you get an idea what we are dealing with. So a holographic projection is actually a 3D stereo projection within a called HoloCube, as you can see over here. And someone was painting in the background an image, so it had just outlines. You had to to draw the outlines, and you could even be more creative, and the others saw what you're doing. And this was a first time ever done so far, and that is my understanding of a kind of mixed reality experience as well. So you enrich your real life environment by virtual things, and that feels almost natural. But this is just one thing. As I said, theme park entertainment is also one of our working fields. This is theme park entertainment. We're working for a real big company within China to create outstanding theme park entertainment movies, but on motion platform base. So that means you are sitting there with, let's say, this kind of amount of people. The platform always look quite the same, and then the things lift up, and you will be brought into a screen. The screen surrounds you, and you really feel an immersive experience, and that is supported by different kind of sound, dust, wind, water sometimes. So this is more like a classical 4D theater, as you might know, and that's how it looks and feels like. This is a little documentary or feature about Pixomondo. I will just
Pixomondo has produced and collaborated on
bring down the volume because I just want you to see this to get an idea about the dimensions and the interactivity that you have. As I said, this is the motion platform.
of unique large format film projects.
And then the magic also happens over here. The whole thing lifts up, and you dive into an experience. And I don't know, when I was young, the Kuppelkino, the IMAX, yes, the IMAX cinemas were quite popular. We don't have this much anymore over here in Germany. But the experience is different, because in IMAX you hadn't had any kind of movement. Here you got the movement, and here you got all the things coming up to you as well, like dust and water sprinkling all over. It feels so
Pixomondo
crazy, to
applies
be
the rich
honest.
talents of its award-winning feature.
So, but not to make this a selling event for Pixomondo and what we're doing, I just want to give you one more idea before I switch over to the HoloLens again, because I have some really nice things that I wanted to show to get you more an impression of what's the different. This is a classical thing, augmented reality. Maybe you all experienced already, or the most of you, using your mobile device, and just a few years ago, or maybe just 1 year ago, you had to have something like a tracker to get a kind of recognition for the device. Nowadays, everything works different, as I said. It's changed almost daily. And then something like this happens.
I'm now free to explore the human body by walking around the room. I can remove structures, add structures.
You can see the complexity of I mean, it's a human body. Actually, for educational thing, for medical training, it's so impressive.
This is just one of many views in human
But
anatomy.
it's still limited. You need to have something within your hands. You need to. It's like a window into the augmented world. Yes, and that's why I love this device so much, because you don't have to deal with these kind of problems. Because you work in hands-free, voice-controlled, and the image quality is almost the same, but this will be shown within the next live presentation. So I'm looking just for the time. How much time do I have still? Nothing. Okay. Then I switch on. I'll give you an idea while I prep. As you can see, that's me on the International Car Trade Fair in Frankfurt. Paint, rotate. This is a virtual car within a real-life environment. Stop. That's how mixed reality works. So that's how it looks for me. It always looks different when I screen it. But as long as you're wearing this kind of device, or any kind of device that is almost similar to this, It is absolutely lined into your field of view and so impressive. So I would say, to give you even a better idea, and not just one dragon, I will show you something else. As you can see, you see nothing, but I do. Gestures, I open up a menu, choo. I close menus. That's so impressive to me. I know. So I was confronted with this all the time at the IAA. So people were thinking I was crazy. Gallery. Thanks. So what I show you now, I don't know if you ever had the chance to see one of this crazy film called Pacific Rim. So we were also working on that one, and all this kind of robotics coming into your life, crashing, do all this demolition stuff within big cities. So, but how does it look like? And I would say we can switch on to the other. Oops. That's a good sign. Offline is always good. Now we're online. It's even better. Now you see what I see and what I see over there. Don't be scared. It's not going to hurt you. But, so this gives us a better idea and understanding of things, how they behave within a virtual world. Oh, I did it wrong. I messed it up. Yes. No problem. But I said we use this actually not just for fun. We use this for work in purposes. And we study movements. We study behaviors from virtual creatures within the real life world. So once again, if you might miss it, there's a dragon just flying around. And I can choose either if I want to use the given environment or ignore it by size, whatever. And just another idea. So these are actually all things that were used to get a better understanding for the animators and for the asset producers or the artists who produce the assets, how these creatures feels like. So what I can do, I mean, I can move around, get closer, and look for every detail. I don't know how you think this is, but I think this is pretty cool. And that's what we're doing with this kind of device. And of course, I can show even so much more because I always running out of time while showing all the things because I'm addicted, to be honest. But this is a kind of a good kind of addiction because it doesn't cost me too much money. I do this. I earn actually money for it, so it's pretty okay. So. I want to show, I want to show so much more, but I'm running out of time, as I said. So I just wanted to show what I just showcased you with mixed reality is nothing, as I said, we do this for serious work. We try to get moving studies out of it. We try to improve the animations, the simulations that we're working on a daily basis with. And therefore, I will show you just a few shots that were built on the the work that was related with this kind of device. And in my guessing, it's the best episode or the best season that we ever created. The things look so real and outstanding, even better than others. Not by naming it. So just enjoy.